legendary.
Yeah, and some of the community critique towards C9 right after this game was like, Smoothie, you know, had to flash out, had to burn his ulti. Oh, Impact couldn't get the flank off. But they were playing against a very well-refined SKT that was continuously aware of their positioning and who could punish them. And I don't think Flash Wolves is just up to that level.
And that double value from stealing picks away is actually really important to me.
Yeah, absolutely the case. So we are going to get ourselves into this one. And here we go. Champ Select about to get underway as Cloud9 from the North American LCS takes on Flash Wolves from the LMS. Flash Wolves fighting for survival. Cloud9 destiny in their own hands. If they keep winning, they will make the top 8.
And one of the matchups that actually last game was heavily influenced was the top lane. Duke was continuously pushing in Impact in the top lane. But right now we have Impact, who is a very strong top laner, in my opinion, going up against MMD, who is considered much weaker across the board. So this could actually be an additional pressure point for C9, opening up more roams, more opportunity for Meteos to invade and get some of the deep vision as well.
I think Flash Wolves agree with you, and they have prompted them to ban that cannon away from Impact. Syndra also obviously very big at the moment all across the group stage, but also specifically for Jensen.
All right, one final ban to come through here. Worth noting that Nidalee, the only 100% contested champion here at Worlds, is so far still on the table. And Flash Wolves debating whether they want to leave it up or not and trade it for something else. They will actually ban Sneaky's Jhin away.
Yeah, they might be thinking about do we ban Nidalee, give over to Ryze. That's what C9 did last game. Obviously, they will now be forced rather to pick the Nidalee up early, which means the reaction Ryze from Flash Wolves could come out. And then Jensen has to find out what his counter is.
As well as what the other champions they want to have are with right now. Caitlyn also grabbed up alongside the Ryze for the bot lane.
So that tells you what Flash Wolves' plan was. They had too many strong champions open, and actually banning one of them would lead to a bit of a tough spot right there. So they want to give the Nidalee over, trade it for a Caitlyn Ryze, and because they ban out the Jhin, it means they have a favorable 80 carry matchup almost guaranteed in the bot lane.
And part of the reason Flash Wolves felt comfortable handing over that Nidalee that has been so highly prized is that Meteos hasn't had a game on Nidalee in Season 6. However, he has played the champion. It's, again, one of these things, though. How can you judge the strength of a player based on just scrim results or rumors?
Yeah, it's definitely very hard. Now C9 looking for an answer. Lost their Ryze first pick. When in doubt, ask yourself, what would Faker do? Faker went for Victor. They decide against it, though, because they know exactly what bot lane they'll be playing against. They get their favorite support that's left. No more Alistar, but they still want the semblance of engaged, teamfight utility. Supports are shifting farther away from that range support meta here.
And I love the adaptation because Braum is so good against Ryze. Ryze's main weakness we always mention for the teamfights is the line damage and how it's hard to have good target selection on Ryze because it's so easy for the enemy to block it.
Yeah, definitely. So Braum to Caitlyn, a little rough here, but C9 going again for that as well. So they want to mimic that style. Passive bot lane, ranged farm, get sneaky through the laning phase, maybe eat a small deficit in CS, but have Smoothie roam once he bases, group up with Jensen, group up with Impact in the top lane very early, surprise the Flash Wolves.
And those proactive moves are even more important with the Nidalee, right? You're spending your first pick on this Nidalee, that requires him to work with the rest of the team. Jungling, counter jungling, river control, these are all team-based objectives. No longer can you just blame the jungler.
And this is interesting. Flash was actually leaving their support pick for last. They willingly blind picked top, and I don't think Impact was at a rush to grab Poppy for himself, so
might just be that they consider themselves to have a weaker top laner. When you do, Poppy's such a great pick. Poppy throughout this entirety of the tournament has gone down 10, 20, 30 CS early, then kept it at a stable 30 CS deficit and had a massive impact in fights time and time again, even when the player they were playing against may have been better individually in a 1v1 scenario.
First thing I think of when I think of MMD and Mouse is Poppy, because build full tank, be useful in the team fight, you can create space. There's so many uses for the ultimate. You can zone people off towers. It makes it easier in the late game because you can push things out much quicker. But
surprisingly good sieging tool as well.
Yep.
While people are grouping up to challenge a wave, you just knock them away, take down a turret here.
And now we get Impact looking at a matchup that he can probably abuse. The Gnar is in, and laning phase should be good. We know Poppy can stop the Gnar engages, use the steadfast presence to try to stop the hop or the crunch from getting in, but still, you expect Impact to have a huge laning lead.
Still, it's similar to the way Jace lanes into Poppy, but it doesn't come at the weakness of not playing with a tank right now. Now there's a good tanker flanker in the top lane. They have a tank support on Smoothie. It's actually quite a similar composition that they ran earlier. Less on a hard engagement with the cannon, but they still have a good teamfight utility pick in the top lane that can also bully 1v1, so I really like the Gnar pick.
Yeah, versatility is the key. That's something that Gnar has in spades and why it became a big pick in the first place. Can play defensively, can go offensive, and one of the biggest things for Cloud9 has been Impact absorbing pressure top lane without calling Meteos. Meteos very, very rarely does go up there, but when we have seen him go up there with Smoothie, they also find kills. So that ability to play both sides is very important.
And now we get to judge Maple how he does on that Rise as well, when he has to walk forward in fights to catch the Victor, to catch the Ezreal while they kite, Victor Ezreal, incredibly potent at kiting somebody that's coming very obviously at them. It's going to be hard for Maple to find good quality targets and get around Smoothie's Braum.
Jensen just put in an hour of training this matchup against Faker, so we'll see what he's been able to take away.
Do what Faker did, get 6 kills reasonably easy early on into the game. We'll see what can happen. The Cloud9 and Flashels now have their champions locked in. NL, we knew him primarily for playing great long-range, high-damage champions. Last year at Worlds, made top 8 playing a lot of Jinx. The Caitlyn can play a similar role here, and he's even got a Tahm Kench to peel. There's definitely a lot of tools that can let NL carry this one.
All eyes on Meteos, though. He has to secure his bottom right jungle with 2 push lanes against him. The Caitlyn's going to push in. The Ryze is going to push in early, which means his red buff will be contested very early on. He may actually alter his path to start on the right side to move away from the weak side of the map. Definitely keen to see how Meteos does on this aggressive Nidalee despite having some losing matchups.
Exactly. His one win lane is going to be Impact up in the top lane. We'll see if he does play around him this time around. And either way, make sure to join us on Twitter and share your favorite Worlds moments using the hashtag WorldsBigPlays to join in on the conversation. Also, of course, vote for your favorite teams here. Hashtag C9win, hashtag FWWin here. The LMS's Flash Wolves, the last hope of the region. Cloud9 from North America, the exact same. And again, Flash Wolves fighting for tournament lives. They must win this if they want to make the top 8. Cloud9 have a couple of chances here, but hoping they can strike a second kill against Flash Wolves here as we start the 3rd game of the day.
First thing I want to point out as they head onto the Rift is that Jensen in this Victor versus Ryze Lee Sin match is opting not to take the cleanse. Contrary to what Faker just did, Ryze can just straight up walk at you and 2 seconds snare to set up a Lee Sin gank. That's going to be very scary.
They're doing this circular Braum invade again, where he comes from the top side, and then they want to surprise whoever's in the brush. Max range Q actually very easy to connect, so is it going to hit or not? It's a gamble at this point. Oh,
nope. Nice by MMD. Knows enough about how Smoothie likes to start this out that sits in the back of the brush. The Q doesn't land.
It's a gamble for Smoothie. Either you walk up into vision, but you catch him snoozing, and you get the max range all the way into the brush, or you just guess that they're being lazy and stand halfway into the brush. Also, if there's 5 people there, you don't want to walk too close. So it's a bit of a gambit.
We also saw that Sword Art was able to get that deep trinket ward to spot what C9 was going to do with their duo lane. Will they start with the Krugs? And if they do, NL and Sword Art have the chance to fight them. Otherwise, you see them sitting in the front of that brush saying, hey, if you face check into me, you're going to take a tongue to the face.
Yeah, and if they see them on the brush, they're actually probably not going to go for the contest. They'll probably do the lane freeze thing, where you deny a couple of melees and then get access to the wave. It's definitely the favorable start, seemingly by a lot of bot lanes here. It really punishes the Krug start.
We'll see if they do one small Krug in, something like that, maybe a half measure as they take one, and they're going to walk into lane, so the freeze will not hurt them. They just get a bit of free golden XP.
Yeah, no freeze actually going off here, so C9's super happy with this. This is different choice from Flash rules.
Low risk, medium reward. C9 comes out slightly ahead.
And as you mentioned, the Flash Wolves vision there, seeing the bottom lane, you also want to note the top side. There was a C9 ward on the Krugs that Karsa started. And again, I have to reiterate this Lee Sin plus Ryze combo, very deadly. Karsa has been one of the most active junglers of all the junglers here in group stages. And Jensen is going to rely on his skilled dodging ability with the Ghost. I mean, this is something that we lauded him for in the North American LCS, his ability to dodge cocoons and ganks. But definitely puts more pressure on him.
And we can actually see interesting path here that could indicate an early gank here, because Karsa seems to be prioritizing large red uptime by skipping the red on his initial clear, going to Raptors, then returning to red buff, could indicate an early gank.
It is also a safer route if you think that the enemy does also have that deep vision that saw them on Krug.
Cheese.
Yeah, it lets you smite red buff when your smite comes back up as your third camp. He's at full health with a potion stack still there, so Karsa is very healthy on the clear. Gobi, double thumbs up. I've played enough Lee Sin to know that one.
Yeah, he seems very set on defending it.
Ooh, cannon minion dead.
Seems very set around defending his own jungle too, though, because he's going for the Scuttle Crab immediately, kind of blocking off his jungle. He seems very afraid of Meteos invading early on. We've seen Italy's go for level 2 red buff cheese. He's now defended his right side of jungle, so it looks more power farm heavy on Karsa.
Yeah, if you know Meteos, it's not really his style, though. Super heavy clear here. Is going to get the very quick level 4, go back for that first purchase.
I mean, Meteos has taken now 6 full camps to the, 3 and a scuttle, now 4 and a scuttle of Karsa, so he is ahead.
I have to dock you half a point. Yeah, exactly.
I know. But all the XP and gold's in the big one. I still give myself full credit.
A minus.
A minus. I'll give you, okay, that's still a 4.0. We're good.
Meanwhile, Karsa here with the A plus as far as Maple is concerned. All you have to do is give him blue buff. And there you go. Mid laner approves.
All right, it does mean a pretty reasonable recall for Meteos, though. Doubling up on wards, he's got the Tracker's Knife plus the Pink Ward. And, you know, you mentioned how scary Lee Sin Rise is. If Meteos can track the Lee Sin with wards, it's pretty good for Cloud9.
Exactly. They had the ward on the Krug side. He knows the wards are back up right now. He went with the power farm, and he's rewarded.
Yeah, he's also moving in between 2 wards. There's a ward at every single entrance of the jungle, but Meteos hopped in between, placed the Pink Ward. He's now getting behind Puppey. Flashers have no idea that this is coming.
And it's even during Mega Gnar. The stun was already used by MMD. Oh, he juked back into it, and the flash to mechanically perfect from Meteos. A mistake by MMD, of course, but the first blood comes through.
He uses the element of surprise. He knows pro players twitch backwards the second somebody reveals in their lane, and a beautiful spear. Then he doesn't go for the pounce immediately. He closes the gap with flash to follow up afterwards. This is mechanically perfect play by Meteos.
Meteos could literally not be further ahead in this game. He efficiently cleared every single camp, stole away the large Krug, and got the most efficient gank. Just passes there by a few seconds, gets impact ahead. The huge split pusher, you set up this Gnar to be able to bully on that side lane, and my goodness, that is a promising start for them. MMD dodges backwards into it, then flashes. As much as you say perfect from Meteos, it also requires MMD to make that mistake.
It's an opt-in play from the enemy top laner, but we're watching pretty much a speed run right now from Meteos here, doing everything perfect. Perfect clear, perfect gank. Right now, pulling impact ahead as well, and this is so different from C9. Very often, Meteos would help the other parts of the map to get them ahead, and Impact would have to play solo, but he already got to get an assist in that laning matchup.
And it is smart of Meteos to play to his one winning lane, the one that expected to be pushed out. Impact is doing very well for himself. He's got the assist in the first blood. There's good elements here. And
MMD knows that he made a huge blunder, right? How is that going to affect his mentality? There was actually a video when the groups were drawn of Flash Wolves when they saw that Cloud9 was in their group, and MMD's face just drained of blood when he knew he was against Impact. Now that he's also given up that first kill and his summoners, he has got to be extremely scared, and it's definitely going to affect his playstyle.
Yeah, and Impact is taking his sweet time pushing out that lane here. It's not frozen, but he's going to build up a massive slow push here, and then it's likely going to bully MMD on the tower or just get a really good base timing here.
And the call might be for Meteos to rejoin in the top side. If you have a giant wave and a flashless only level 5 Poppy with Mega Gnar about to pop, that is the elements of a dive, but you've got Karsa saying, hey, I'm going to control top jungle, we're okay here. Nice chomp, devours in. Yeah, Smoothie getting real low on health right here. He's got to be careful, burns the flash as well as the heal and exhaust. 3 summoners down, beautifully executed by Flash Wolves, getting a big chunk in the bottom lane.
Yeah, Sword Art must have had the Braum passive on cooldown because a simple tag there by Smoothie could have delayed that play. Maple moving down though, he's skilled. The Realm Warp rises right now, have been skilling it much earlier than usual, but Meteos is ready with the spot.
And he sees there's 2. Karsa slightly late on the shield either way though. It's going to be pieces of a
Jensen is
shield.
level 6 there on Victor, ready to come though, and he actually just says, hey, handle that smite fight yourself. I'm going to stay here and grab the extra 2 CS. They do that, but Karsa does come away with that smite.
Yeah, and the fact that Meteos is continuously revealing Lee Sin on the map breaks apart some of those combos that Kobe was talking about earlier, how it's really easy for a Ryze, to go for the snare, follow up with the Lee Sin damage very early on to break a Victor that is not running cleanse. As long as you are aware of where Lee Sin is on the map, Jensen can just play on the opposite side, lean towards his safe side in his lane.
At the same time, though, of course, it's still Flash Rolls. Karsa winning the first Smite fight of the game, and the fact that the first blood is worth 600 gold, yet Flash Rolls only down 400 means they are starting to win their lanes, and they're keeping Meteos from upsetting them too terribly much, as Maple's got a 10 minion lead, and NL's got 12.
Yeah, you can see where the different teams want to try and apply their pressure by the vision. There's so much vision from Cloud9 up on the top side where they have that lead. You always want to play around the side of the map where you've got that advantage. That would be Impact. The ward and the Tribush did just time out, but Impact trying to bully MMD under a turret. For MMD's sake, though, it is worth saying that he is doing a good job of grabbing a decent amount of the CS while under pressure.
Yeah, and these are also the expected results of some of these matchups, and they show the victories that will happen on both sides in Champs League. The Jhin ban into Caitlyn early pick will guarantee you a favorable trading pattern, especially if C9 doesn't solve that problem with the range support. They went for a melee support, which means the range disparity between Caitlyn and Ezreal early on will manifest in a slight CS lead.
And there's a lot of minions still left standing in that lane. Perfect control there from Flash Wolves. So there is a pretty sizable advantage down there at the moment.
But we're waiting for Smoothie to hit level 6 and start influencing some of these other lanes. The preemptor to that is obviously River Vision first.
And they've got just that. The River King himself on top of a ward gets one, and the place he's given his name over to as they're hoping to control the bot side for both these teams. Blue buff's been handed over several times now, and Jensen got one recently. Maple just now handed his. Jensen does have his first augment, and down goes the caster minion wave.
C9 lose their pink ward. They place it in the River Brush, but the farthest one, Flashwolves just walked up and cleared it, so that's kind of inferior placement here. Meteos looking to contest the pink ward of his own. You can always expect the ward to be there.
Going to constantly fight over that portion of the map. Meteos going to get a ward over the wall as well to help track some of Karsa's movements. They know he can't slink in from the right side now. There's just no good routes for him. Maple waiting in the wings.
Speaking of the ward placement as well, I do love the ward behind Dragon Pit that Flash Wolves has placed. Because of that roaming you talked about from Smoothie being a big factor, you can see it whenever he moves up. Also, they can see Meteos. He's going to contest Sword Art on
the flash to chop him down. Here's two teammates, Meteos. Oh, man, assassinated. Nicely done by Karsa and the rest of Flash Wolves.
Super aggro move there from Meteos, knowing that they don't have the support of their support.
So many supports everywhere. But yeah, really bold move, and actually Sword Art read that perfectly. He baited Meteos in, looking like he was just getting caught de-warding right there, being super slow on a Tom Kench, but then the Flash Devour into perfect setup.
Oh, close one, but still secured better by Karsa. That was one of the tighter steals we've seen, but still perfect summoning so far by Karsa.
You can see that Meteos instantly regretted the all-in there, but can't get out. Sword Art with a good Devour enables them to get Drake afterwards, and you talked about it last game. Ocean Drake early bodes very well for the lanes.
I mean, Meteos right now, how is he supposed to know? He has deep vision. Look, he has vision behind Sword Art. He has vision in River. He thinks he's so fine right here, and then everything disappears, and Lee Sin just shows up for a fraction of a second.
Flash.
But the speed boost on the Rise as well. He triggered that Surge combo, or we actually popped the Ghost. More likely, Maple rushing in.
Sorry.
The respect should be given to Tom Kench, though. Whoa!
Damage to Karsa forcing his flash out as well. Jensen had to flash to get rid of the ward hop, the insect that could have come out from Karsa there. So good respect from Jensen doing it in time.
Karsa was buffering the kick flash. Basically means once the kick animation starts, he wants to flash behind, but I think he failed it just by a hair and ended up just kicking, leaving him in a position where he had to flash out right after.
Not going to get quite what he needs. MMD getting chased down by Impact, and a little bit more damage being dealt. You're seeing this scoreline 95 to 69, and yes, there's a bit of a minion wave here by MMD, but that will not tie up the score. Impact is the winning lane for Cloud9, and Flash was, even after tying up in kills, it's still C9 holding the slightest of gold leads, and that is pretty much entirely now on Impact's shoulders.
Yeah, meanwhile, the strong point for Flash Wolves is NL on the Caitlyn, stacking up the CS advantage down bottom, plus Sword Art there, feeling very confident on the Tom Kench. Now he's post level 6, so you also have to worry about those Abyssal Voyages.
Yeah, absolutely. NL, to highlight him though, almost perfect CS numbers right here. 126 minions in 12 minutes, very good, especially for a bottom laner. You get the minions about 10 seconds later than a mid laner, so it's like slightly deflated based on what someone like Jensen or Maple could do, and that's also after one recall. So Huge props here. Now the push in towards Sword Art. The stun's going to land. Meteos not far behind. The chain CC, they don't get it in time. The thick skin comes out. And Smoothie has to flash away, but here comes MMD, but he's not going to get the damage across. Still looking for a bit of a chase. They won't kill off Smoothie, though.
Flash Wolves have committed to this, so they should actually call Maple down and try and rush for the first turret gold.
So many teams have stuck here too long, though, and ended up dying here in the defense right now. But C9 actually is disengaging properly. They may lose first turret gold, but it can be worth because they're funneling so much farm and turret gold into Impact, specifically in the top lane, who still is there because he used teleport earlier on.
Yeah, he had the TP back to laner, cancels part of the push, but looks like he's not going to knock down the turret as fast as the rest of Flash Wolves are going to. So that is first turret gold, a cool 1,000 overall coming in towards Flash Wolves. As Impact will answer that a little bit later, but for less money.
But it's not the worst thing to happen because spreading out resources on the map is always more efficient here. There's a couple of waves that have just died here in vain, so in that sense it will equalize out, and it's funneling all the gold into a carry player on a side lane, which is what you want in League of Legends. Later on, C9 will be able to play 4-1 with split push being driven by Impact.
And it's really touch and go there, because Cloud9 did have the choice of channeling that teleport much earlier from Impact. They made the conscious choice not to do it until they saw MMVs, and then try and keep Impact up there. It's that balance between top side and bottom side, because Caitlyn is slowly whittling away at that bottom side turret anyways, whereas Impact is doing the same on top, and eventually they will be traded.
And just for some specific numbers, the first turret gold bonus is worth roughly 3 full minion waves worth of gold, and if that's how much got denied from MMD being in the bot lane, the overall impact of that trade is actually equal on a gold level. XP-wise, even better with Impact, absorbing at least 2 waves from all the time MMD spent elsewhere, but the lanes have been swapped in. Caitlyn has a ton of items right now, 143 minions, BS Sword plus Azeel plus the Zerk Greaves. He is the point of power, and they're pushing with him.
Yeah, there is a ward deep left in the lane though, a pink ward. No teleport just yet, but if this keeps going on, there could be a big surprise waiting for the Flash Wolves in about 2 minutes.
Yeah, Cloud9 have also seen the Lee Sin played by Karsa via a River ward. They pinked him recently, so Cloud9 knows exactly where everyone is for Flash Wolves right now, and they've got enough resources to defend that top turret.
And that's honestly the dream for C9. Make a teleport play top and get access to the Rift Herald. If they can get that buff before it despawns, it's actually really good in a split push scenario right now. But the game is so even. That's why so many of these teams haven't been contesting Rift Herald, because you put yourself at such a loss trying to tank it.
It does a ridiculous amount of damage, takes very long to take down, and the opportunity cost is extremely high, especially at this level of play. The other team can make a power play on the other side.
Let's see if those power plays start happening right now. It's a Sword Art going to recall back and wait as NL plays more defense on his side of the map. Impact taking a scuttle, shouldn't be contested, and yeah, he's going to get that, secure more vision for himself as he continues trying to split push against MMD.
You can see Karsa is going down towards the bottom side though. They're going to try and prey on Impact's aggressive tendencies.
They might be able to. Here's the knockup. Here's going to be the rest of the damage and release in, kicks him around. The big Gnar comes through and he's going to flash to try to get away. The skill shots will come up soon. There's the flash. He's going to get the follow, and he dodges the stun. Beautiful by Karsa, getting the kill on the Impact.
Very, very crisp play there from Karsa. Well-deserved kill. They do commit a lot for it, and Cloud9 are actually multiple people shopping, so they don't get anything back.
Yeah, Flash Wolves had no faith in Karsa's sidesteps right there, because both Realm Orbs seem to be used and the Abyssal Voids from Tom Kens just for a single pick-off. So Impact, he still died, but he wasted a lot of resources right there. C9 couldn't cross-map though. They were waiting in the brush for nobody to face check.
You can see this fight again, and it's Impact going for a very aggressive build. Black Cleaver first. He's got a level lead, and MMD says, that's okay, I've got Lee Sin coming.
Yeah, he knows. The second this Pumpy starts aggressively fighting you, you know somebody else is going to join this party.
Exactly. Tries to get this done, and then gain distance there with the flash, but good flash from Karsa.
Q is also timed really well. It removes one dodge option, because he couldn't dodge upwards because there was a wall there, so he chooses to angle it slightly downwards, you know, maybe half a width of the spell downwards, so you can't dodge up, you have to dodge down. Pretty much a guaranteed hit there, so it's those little things that work out really well for Karsa.
Meanwhile, the next thing you need to turn your attention towards is the vision around this Drake, because yeah, 1 kill is a decent amount of gold, but it doesn't change the fight that's coming up nearly as much as the summoner spells and ultimate usage does.
Looks like right now no real contest for the Drake. There's even a Trinket Ward in there from Flash Wolves, so C9 couldn't sneak it over the wall with Meteos even if they wanted to. Karsa is going to see Sneaky
I would say that Cloud9 would want to either force this quickly and then use Impact's teleport up to the top side, or they would get MMD's teleport coming down here.
I definitely want to force the play here because they have teleport on the top lane on the side of Flash Wolves with 5 members here already, and this is C9 really strong.
Whoa! Arsa stunned up, forced the Devour out of Sword Art, and here comes the teleport. Smoothie a bit low, but he's going to be okay. Off to the side is Maple, a bit alone. The snipe's going to come in and attack Smoothie, but it's C9 running away, and that is Flash Wolves using a teleport with nothing gained. C9 grabbed the Drake.
And just like SKT, C9 is playing a Victor composition with an Ezreal later on that will be a full Blue Ezreal build too, which means you can kite so well. Iceborne Gauntlet, zone control into choke points with the Victor W right there. That's what they want to do. They want to keep them away from the objective and then punish them as they walk in.
Plus, later on, they will be able to... Ooh, actually, we're going to have 3 members go after Maple and get his ult out. Yeah, I've had a lot of those moments where you start to talk and they go for it and move. But anyways, Maple's ultimate, not a big deal for Flash Wolves to burn right there.
He's going to get that stun and a sneaky, nicely aimed, gets the overload around the minions with a bonus damage and a sneaky. Nice shot here by him. And it's Flash Wolves. Much like their game at the beginning of the day, they have a small gold lead here, cresting 20 minutes in. They've got one of the drakes for themselves as well. It's a close one. We have known from history that Flash Wolves had a harder time closing out games. They had that comeback win that IMA got against them and the failed closeout against C9 last week as well.
And we see the difference in compositions here too. Caitlyn is a champion that loves being in the mid lane just because of this very reason. She can put the traps up anywhere she wants and kind of fend off. So Flash Wolves, they want to play 1-3-1. They want to put the Rise on a side lane, use the isolation or the nature of the lane router to get a 1v1 scenario where Rise is really strong. C9, however, have a champion like Victor who has to stay in the mid lane.
And if you go to the 1-3-1 also, we have to look at Impact almost completing the Frozen Mallet here on Gnar. That combined with the Armor Shred makes them very powerful in the 1v1 with Poppy. Not quite so much versus Rise. So Cloud9 would have to choose their lanes to actually move him over to the Poppy lane rather than this Rise lane because he doesn't have MR.
And that's exactly what Karsa's trying to protect. You get some vision, so at least it stays a 1v1. And Maple is getting access to that turret because he is the strong point for Flash Wolves.
Doing plenty of damage here in this one. And of course, NL continuing to siege mid. More chunks coming out of that turret, down to 1/3.
And the reaction usually from the team in the lead is to opt into a 1-1-3, defend the wave clear in the mid lane. But C9 is under so much pressure that they actually had farm share mid lane. They were sharing farm between Sneaky and Jensen. So they're losing that lane farm in the bottom.
Also remember, if they're moving back and forth between top and mid, you have to watch out for not only Maple's ultimate, but the Abyssal Voyage still in use here for Sword Art. They are very much ready to try and catch Cloud9 out in rotation.
Yeah, C9 want to keep the map small, play a 1-4, really get the benefits of teammates kind of enabling each other. Flash Wolves, they want to make the map big. One guy on a side lane, one guy all the way across the map, and then use, just like Kobe said, Abyssal Voyage from one side to the other. Rise ultimate, surprise people, and then create numbers advantages. Make picks, in a sense.
And we'll see which team can get the type of game they want. Right now, it's individual splits. You've got Sneaky coming back down from the top side after pushing that lane in. MMD on the bot lane alone right now, and the Mega Gnar will be joining against him pretty soon. Jensen versus Maple in the mid lane, and the shielding. And it keeps Maple in a decent enough spot. That is an ulti down from Jensen's Victor.
Yeah, he peeled down from the top lane. Looking for a play here, but Jensen just using Ghost is a really good trade.
Yeah, a lot of focus there from Flash Wolves on Jensen. They know that he's not one to back down. Jensen's a player with a lot of pride, and if you challenge him, then he'll usually take the fight.
The reason you have Flash is so you can test whether the skill shot was going to hit and whether you could juke it or not. That's usually Jensen's mentality when it comes to skill shots. Dodge first, think later.
Sometimes it can bite him back, though, if the enemies play well enough. And Flash Wolves definitely no slouches in this one. 400 gold lead, pressure in the mid lane.
And we can follow the details a little bit. We see Poppy pushes out in the bot lane. We know he loses the 1v1, so instead of staying in that lane, he roams to the mid, look for a pick here. So you kind of move out big and then detract here in the 1-3-1 and then look for flanks every time. That's the way Flash Wolves want to play.
Meanwhile, Rise taking his toll as Maple once again splitting, pushes up top, almost done with the turret.
And he's pressuring much, much faster than Impact is. This similar sort of lopsided side lane matchup. This turret down to a couple hundred health.
And this, it all looks so beautiful when they execute it step by step by step, and they kind of annihilate the advantage, albeit small, that C9 had. But we're waiting still for the big mistake. That's happened every single time with Flash Wolves. They know how to play these games. Like 1-3-1 is a very tough composition to play, because it requires everybody working in unison despite not being very close.
Yeah, you mentioned the mistakes. There was one game where they didn't fail to close it out, and that was the SKT one back in week 1, the big upset that you almost never would have expected from Flash Wolves with how they looked in the earlier games, but they might finally get that consistent one they're looking for. It always looks good for 25 minutes till it falls apart. Maybe they finish it out before it does.
Yeah, and Jensen is always getting access to this wave second. He's the second guy to clear, and the second guy to clear is behind on the play, as they say. And in the bot lane, because the map is so split, nobody's going to kill MMD. It takes a while to die in a top lane fight. We all know that. So all he has to do is clear out the wave and back off. He's never really want to see Impact anymore, and Impact can't use that 2-item spike right now. So the stalling is essentially working out decently for Flash Wolves.
And as they stall, the tension does build.
Yeah.
When both teams are, drawing the map out like this, the vision in between all the lanes is so important. We've already seen Impact be punished one time by Karsa. They'll have to be very wary about committing a bunch of resources to one side, though, since there's so much opportunity for counterplay.
And definitely, because vision is sparse, there's only 4 wards in a Sightstone. Gone are the days you could stack 20 wards in your inventory, which makes the location of those wards...
Have you ever stacked 20 wards, actually?
probably like 10 or 14 back in the day.
Nice.
Achievement unlocked.
Yep.
Good old days.
I don't think I've bought 20 wards total.
All right, well, Ocean Drake on the menu here.
Yeah, the Cloud9 getting cupcakes in the menu here, getting rid of the appetizers, hoping to fight for the main course, the Ocean Drake. First damage coming in, it's going to be secured. Nicely done. Karsa again is landing his last hits on these objectives. Cloud9 came to contest that, but now they get the first dibs on the mid lane. Problem is, Flash Wolves are shoving the bot lane even harder with NL and Sword Art getting a lot done on that bot tier 2.
Yep, and MMD looking to stop this push.
This is the 3v5 that C9's not fighting. They're just letting Flash Wolves knock to the bottom
Because
turret and
there's
give it
no
away.
minions anymore. They cleared out a little bit of the minions. It was a forced kind of predict juke on MMD. He was forcing people to sidestep into the ulti. Jensen didn't really care, but the minions were gone, so really good map play here by Flash Wolves.
3 objectives in a row taken by Flash Wolves with no answer from Cloud9. They are doing a very good job in the mid game, keeping up the pressure.
And look at that play, the tackle on a Jensen, beautifully done. Karsa on a killing spree, 3-0-0. Mid lane outer gonna drop as well. Flash Wolves really playing the mid game.
I'm loving the macro play from Flash Wolves here. They fan out. They know they were beaten in numbers, so they go for the 1-3-1. Once the waves are in a good position, they collapse. I don't want to pick our objective. Right now, Maple is dealing out so much damage.
And look at Smoothie running for his life. Shield up, does slink away, but Flash Wolves really crushing it. A 3,000 gold lead back into the mid lane they go. Sneaky cannot stop this wave enough, and this could be another turret. NL just knocking down these structures.
All right, Impact's here though.
He's going to get a couple of slows. He's got a frozen mallet, but it's still a 3 versus 5. What are they going to get? It's going to be Maple getting the first kill. Now Sneaky trying to get the trade, but look at the damage. Maple with the triple, killing absolutely everyone. That is an ace, and Cloud9 are falling apart.
Cloud9 collapse, and Baron is now the next objective. They just cleaned house here for Flash Wolves.
What a tutorial in 1-3-1 into objectives here by Flash Wolves, and also Maple showing what happens when Ryze does close the gap, when he does get into range, and he can actually use that spell combo beneficially for his team.
Absolutely slaughtering. Flash Wolves now 7,000 gold up, wearing a Baron buff. They are playing on point in this one.
Incredibly impressive last 5 minutes from Flash Wolves.
All right, first guy to go down is Meteos. 1-2 shot. He flashes, dies. Smoothie goes in, tries to block for his teammate, but then realizes Ryze does a bunch of damage. Sneaky can't kill him. Ooh.
Gets the shield back up in time, Maple.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, I don't even know why Flash Wolves decided to, C9 even tried though, because they're in a guaranteed 4-on-5. They are outnumbered. Impact is minion R for sure, and he's like, yeah, let's dive the backline 1v3 and dies for it.
Yeah, probably chasing a loss right there. Wanted to make up for the mistakes made earlier immediately instead of looking for the long con for a well-orchestrated fight here. Actuals pulling the trigger this time.
Yeah, not expecting the 1v3 from Maple to come away with 3 kills for Maple.
That is Maple doing so well for himself. The big stars of Flash Wolves really, for the last several years, have been Maple and Karsa, the big playmakers, and they own all 7 kills and no deaths in this game.
And look at Flash Wolves right now. They group first in the mid lane. They push in mid. They work together to get the foundation of the vision. A couple of wards left and right, so the mid lane's safe. All right, and then they fan out. Then they send Ryze to the top lane again. Puppey's bot. He's a little bit too far out right now, though, MMB. Likely has to flash.
Gets the point blank ulti. The stun's going to land from Jets. That will get the trade kill. So Cloud9 spending literally all 5 players get a kill in the top lane. But guess what? When all 5 of you are in the bottom jungle, that means top lane is alone. And a kill for a turret is still a positive trade for Flash Wolves.
Yeah, I mean, Baron buff makes it very easy to counter like that. And again, net gold gain there for Flash Wolves. Seems they can actually collapse because they're closing in on the 3 members of Cloud9.
And Maple might be looking for a Realm Warp here with the Lee Sin. Still a tower left, so that might be a little bit deep. While that looks like a beneficial trade for Flash Wolves, it was kind of the only play C9 could make. They punished an overreaching Poppy while they were trying to set up the split push, because if they're allowed to get the split push router in full motion, there would be more damage done by the Flash Wolves. So at this point, C9 have dug themselves a hole large enough that they will take more losses before they crawl out.
Yeah, I think, Flash Wolves, they're the ones who actually dug the hole. They deserve credit for this. Is honestly the most impressive last, what is it, like 8 minutes now of play. They got 6 uncontested objectives or unanswered objectives there. Very, very good mid game from them. But again, as tragic as it sounds, we always have to caution in these games.
Step away from the Baron. Whatever you do, do not pretend.
Well, they're wearing it now, so they've got a long time to wait for the next.
But everybody was dead. That was the prerequisite for Flash Wolves.
But this still feels much more like their SKT game than their last Cloud9 one. It's a sizable lead, and they never let up against SKT. It took them a little while to close out, but the lead looked like this, and it kept growing like this.
Yeah, and they're confident too. Let's see what's happening right here. Maple, that's a sneaky. That's no more sneaky.
80 carry feels.
Ouch.
Feels bad, man. And they're even sieging on multiple lanes without the Poppy even being in place here because they made that pick earlier. Look, they're hitting the base, and MMD is actually nowhere to be found. He has teleport, but they're definitely comfortable here.
Sword Art slowed. Realm Warp's going to get him to safety. Maple feels totally fine. Good guy.
Get out of here! I want a 1v4.
Yeah. And it's great because there's some teamwork. Sword Art will save Maple sometimes. Maple will save Sword Art. You can just deliver anyone you want around the map. Rise.
Who's going to save Cloud9, Freak?
Who's going to save Cloud9? I don't know. Maybe Game 6. Because right now it's looking very good for Flash Wolves here in their 5th game of the group stage. Flash Wolves have been a bit disappointing. They are coming into this one only 1-3, but they still have the fate in their hands. They can win this. They can beat SKT in the last game and maybe get into a tiebreaker and battle for that top spot.
And look, they've denied so much vision. It looked like Flash Wolves were changing up their strategy by no longer making the map big. They're actually just defending access to the Infernal Drake. They're using it as a lure. Asking C9, do you want to come and face check?
There's going to be the play. Yep, forcing the flash out of Sneaky. He was going to run out of health rapidly, and that's Karsa making that play happen, so nicely done.
And Jensen's clearing wolves right now. Sneaky forced to flash here. Flash was changing up the pattern of their setup, really, completely catching C9 apart.
Watch out for Sneaky. The Q's landed. Karsa might go for it. Won't choose to, but the knockback is enough to knock down that turret. 9,000 gold lead now for Flash Wolves after the Baron buff time's out.
Still pushing. Just a checklist now for Flash Wolves. Rinse and repeat. They've gotten so many objectives recently. The lead is gigantic. They can easily pull back to this Infernal Drake. And check what Pokemon have spawned around their lure, Crepo.
It's another Pidgey. Of course it is. Javelin not in range, and that's why you pull the Drake out of the pit as far as you can. Take 53 seconds to make it walk out. It's the right choice.
Honestly, Flash Wolves, they're playing a style that really renders your opponent furious because you leave him with very little counterplay. Every action they can make can get countered unless you get hit in the setup. 1-3-1, the way they've been playing it the entire game, the only way you beat is if you pick the guy off while he's trying to catch the side waves.
And the tragedy right there was Cloud9 actually could have knocked that turret down with no one around. Flash Wolves all recalled, and it's slow recall. Baron's gone by now after that Drake take. That could have been 800 gold back out of Cloud9's pockets. These opportunities back in C9 are unable to take them because the vision control largely.
But they gotta be so careful because they're playing into Fog of War. An Abyssal Voyage could come out any time, carrying a Lee Sin, kicking somebody out. A Realm Warp could find out, and that's exactly what Flash Wolves have done. They've made their opponent scared by showing them what their composition does.
C9, who have stuck with 1 Drake, 1 turret, and only 2 kills this whole game, nearly completely shut out.
The decision to put Maple on a side lane has been the best one in the entire game right now. Flash Wolves looking to set up the map again.
And I don't think they need to shy away from it. To your point, there's an exposed inhibitor now in the bottom lane. They can apply pressure. 50 seconds left on the next Baron, and the setup for Flash Wolves is to shove Cloud9 back into their base so that their vision will expire. and they will again be playing into that fog of war.
Yeah, and they put their top laner as far away from the objective as they can just to utilize that teleport here. They're going for the deep vision together. Again, yes, MMD will lose that 1v1 duel, but he's tanky enough that that duel will last quite a while.
Yeah, gets him down to 2/3. Congratulations, Impact. Your winning matchup means almost nothing thanks to the gold difference. Up 30 minions doesn't really matter. Looking as we have Maple once again, the 1-3-1. He's the side lane pusher. And the minions just die so incredibly quickly in front of him. No one from Cloud9, maybe not even any two people of Cloud9 can really stand up against him.
Yeah,
as they struggle to take their own jungle back.
The problem is C9 never knows when somebody's basing. You know, they could be mid lane right now waiting for the wave, or they could be in base, there could be a Baron. There's so much hidden information
There
here.
could be Maple right here in front of Smoothie. He's gonna have to flash away, so there's some moments of happiness for Cloud9, just not enough to really snowball forward. Finally, Impact does get the presence that he needs, some gold back in the pockets of Cloud9.
Arsa?
Finding him with the kick flash. Goodbye to Sneaky. Well done on this one.
He had no flash. He only had Arcane Shift, so if you kick him far enough away from a wall, he can't actually get over. Now it's 4v5, and this was a reward for the vision they set up earlier. Despite C9 making the right move, attacking the weak, overextended side laner, a single pickoff gets made by Flash Wolves, results in a Baron.
And the only option for Cloud9 is to turtle at the moment. They have to hope for Flash Wolves to make a very big mistake at the turrets. Sneaky dead for 20 more seconds, and they don't have very much damage to work with.
Yeah, they can yield these outer turrets. They don't need them. Priority right now is to break open the base.
Yeah, and right now it's just Flash Wolves happy to play the 4v4, the 4v3 basin where Sneaky respawns at, because they don't mind the minor damage done by the bot lane tier 2. They would rather keep the push going in the top lane.
And when they siege in mid and top, they can actually hop between the lanes. Realm up to mid, Abyssal Void to top here. Definitely possible. They just move up.
Or strong Locka Shield is there. The turret gonna trap down. Nice auto attack by NL. Down to half HP. He's under a little bit of threat, but he's got enough lifesteal to probably be fine. C9 can't really land the poke. Realm Warp to keep him all safe. Maple is gonna get out cleanly. Well done here. No major threats. Flash Wolves are fine. They got an inhibitor turret and they feel good.
Yeah, plus they also got Impact's teleport there.
Yeah.
Removes one of the ways that Cloud9 could try and flank to take out the backline, because this Caitlyn hit that 3 items. Spike, he's almost on item number 4 here.
Yeah, and this must be so rough for C9 because they came out of the matchup last game really valuing that Ryze early pick. Got counter picked by Victor. This game they're like, Ryze early pick, I know the counter. It's Victor, but the damage numbers are turned upside down again here. Much more damage on the side of Maple. He's done over 20,000 damage, while Jensen's only sitting on 9,000 roughly, and that's with an AoE mage.
Yeah. Cloud9 so good at being proactive. Pretty much all game long last game.
Damage.
Whoa.
Tank it.
Yeah, there you go. All right, gets a good chunk on the NL, but there's a kick right back into Jensen, but he's able to flash and ghost away. Karsa, low on health in the front line as well. Impact a bit of free time, but he's still going to get pushed around. Will not lose the Guardian Angel. Now a slow on MMD, but they will not finish for the stun. Still some decent damage out of C9, and they reset.
Exactly. They fend them off for now. Cloud9 buy themselves a little bit more time, and the GA actually critically not going down there from Impact. They need every single little bit of gold value that they've got.
And that's because Flash Wolf opted into C9 strengths here. Remember, when we go back to Gems, like we were talking about it as well, when grouped, C9 kind of help each other, you know. The Victor is a control mage in team fights, Sneaky can kite, Braum can protect him. It's in isolation and splitting people up that Flash Wolves have found their largest victories.
Flash Wolves may yet find some more MMD invincible as they still got about a minute left of this Baron buff. Once again, returning to the middle lane. Even though they got chunked out, the reset, the recall, the run back to the mid, they've got a wave and they're ready to do some damage.
And for pro players at this point, when you're at Worlds and you're facing elimination, it's a double-edged sword because you want to split, which is your strategy, but you feel so much more comfortable in greater numbers. It gives you much more room for error, but it isn't the best high-yielding play.
More right into the front, and it's just to bring the minions in.
That's actually super smart.
And it's going to be the turret dropping down. Well played. Flash Wolves looking good into the middle inhibitor. C9, will they even be able to defend? It's just poke from Impact.
It's so difficult when both backlines are so safe here, and the gold advantage is in Flash Wolves' favor to this degree. Cloud9 can't just brute force through the 5-on-5 and try and take out NL. He's got lifesteal with the extra Bloodthirster. If you don't take him out very quickly, then it's very difficult to come out with that victory.
They gotta split though. To get that last 20% down, I think it's advice for Flash Wolves to just put the split pressure again here. C9 are looking for a reason to pull the trigger.
Maybe they can get more right. So difficult for C9 to chunk on an NL, but he's got a Bloodthirster. He heals back up. And there's the inhibitor going down. Impact's out of HP as well. He's got to run away from this one. Flash Wolves with the inhibitor take. Very clean. A couple of cheeky moves from Maple to make it even cooler. And they can recall one more time as Sword Art is going to deliver his AD carry to the Elder Dragon.
Loving this world so far. We've seen so many creative plays that people don't always think about. Hopefully, no fight here.
Surprise minion wave!
Surprise minion waves. We've seen Anivia Poppy. Remind you that Poppy W cancels a bunch of gap closers, which people are not being used for. A couple cheeky invades. The minion wave delivery system with the Realm Warp.
And you can see max range javelins from Meteos do almost no damage. Of course, he did go for a more defensive option and getting the Athene's Unholy Grail after the Rylai's. No Void Staff, no Abyssal, no Zone. It's just not the same kind of damage you would get with a different build. Going for that more supportive, keep the backliners alive, get the health in. And it's not necessarily wrong, it's just you're seeing that poke mean nothing.
I also have to question how C9 are feeling right now. Coming to the day, a lot of hopes. Sneaky said it, we could go 3-0, we can go 2-1, but right now it looks like they going at best 1 and 2, and what does it do with their mentality? They had this preconceived notion that Ryze was super strong, but now Jensen has lost both sides of the Ryze Victor matchup.
They definitely seem a bit sluggish in this game compared to their SKT game where they came out guns blazing. This time around though, Cloud9 are again hoping for the same thing that they did in week 1 versus Flash Wolves. They want to try and drag this out to super late now. Meanwhile, Flash Wolves, they're taking it just step by step slowly. They don't want to allow any opportunity for Cloud9 to sneak back in with one of those big plays, throwing around an important objective.
This is where it gets hard, because you have 2 objectives on the map, you only have 4 wards, everybody starts filling up their inventories, which means pink wards become a very rare commodity, and objective trading is so easy for the enemy team here. So Flash Wolves no longer playing the split style, they're going for the hard commit group up around the Elder, but it might be a 50-50.
They've got main control. Cena has members around 3, doesn't help on the Elder Dragon. Do they even choose to steal? Ulti out from the Poppy, 1,000 health, looking for it, the smite, and it's still gonna be secured by Karsa. Jensen caught out by the stuns, knocked into the air, not dead just yet, trying to stay alive, the tackle, gonna finally take him out. MMD gets one, Smoothie's next up, 2 for 0 to Flash Wolves. It's Karsa still alive in the backline, Sneaky running for dear life, but he's running out of health. A double kill for Maple, Impact's next up, the ace for Flash Wolves.
The setup was beautiful, the steadfast presence which canceled a jump from the Cougar, which meant they just had to flash, he flashed straight onto a trap, and it was over. Even if they get the steal, 5v4 follow, Flash Wolves methodical, clean, calm, and collected.
And it means Flash Wolves stays alive at the World Championship here now, 2 and 3 alongside Cloud9. We still might see an LMS team into the top 8. Flash Wolves have one more opponent before they might have a tiebreaker.
The #1 seed from the LMS not going down without a fight. They want to get back there just like they got out of groups last year.
C9 are still in control of their own fate, however.
Yeah, Flash Wolves in a reasonable spot as well, to be honest. Of course, keep in mind, IMA can get up to 4 wins and secure it if they can beat SKT, if they can beat Cloud9. Flash Wolves, their last opponent's going to be SK Telecom T1. They can max out at 3 wins and then hope that there's still a tiebreaker left for them based on how the rest of the results go. It's going to be a very, very tight group. These games are all going to matter, but we cannot take away what Flash Wolves did here. A commanding win, a very well-played win over Cloud9.
Definitely credit due there for Flash Wolves. They